So, a few weeks ago, I was at home watching television, just a trashy comedy. And picture the scene. There's a 30-something-year-old pregnant daughter saying goodbye to her parents at the airport. It was all very cliched. She hugged her mother, who said the very mumsy thing of, make sure you eat something. Then she hugged her dad, who pushed some money into her hand and said, it's for the baby. Whilst watching it, my eyes filled with tears. And it was partly just because I'm a bit of a soppy old git, but partly jealousy and sadness. It was something that I'd never have the chance to experience. Mum and Dad moved to the UK in the early 70s. They moved to the UK from a little country called Fiji, a tropical paradise in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And whilst growing up, I had plenty of people say to them, why the hell have you moved from Fiji to England and you're still here? As I grow older, that answer becomes more and more obvious. It was because of me, it was because of my brothers and sisters, it was because of the kids. We never had much growing up, but we had 3 square meals, birthday presents, Christmas presents, and also all the love, affection and support that we needed. Dad died when I was 16. His last few months were particularly difficult. He had diabetes, suffering from kidney failure, blindness, and also the loss of the use of his legs. He spent the last 7 months in Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and over the last few weeks whilst he was there, I went to visit him every day. But even so, it's one of my biggest regrets that I didn't have more time with him. Mum died in November of last year. It was like all mother-parent relationships. It was quite challenging. It wasn't a bed of roses. We had these petty little arguments every now and again, differing political views, my choice of facial hair, the state of it's not that funny. The state of the kitchen that I'd left it in, and then we had those blazing arguments. We all know the ones where you start off screaming, and then you don't speak to each other for the next 2 days. You see, I was Mum's carer for the last years of her life, and it was difficult. For me, I was juggling being a carer, trying to make a career, looking after a relationship I was in, and just life in general. And for Mum, even more difficult. She was once a strong woman, and now she had dementia. She'd lost her mobility. She lost her independence, and she had this fear of being alone. At times like this, what I needed to do was take a step back, take a few deep breaths, and then look at the bigger picture. You see, I always knew that she loved me, and she knew that I loved her. But as soon as I reminded myself of this, fixing the problem was really easy. All I needed to do was put my arms around her, give her a big hug, and I knew everything would be okay. But being a carer was a difficult time. It was physically and emotionally draining. But strangely enough, I'd do it all again. I'd do anything to be able to just have one day back to do that again. You see, it wasn't just bad things about being a carer. Nestled amongst those arguments were amazing times, full of laughter and joy. I wasn't doing it just because I felt it was my duty as a son to look after her. I really wanted to be there with her. I really wanted to spend time with her. You know, the dynamics of the relationship had changed. I didn't look at her as just my mum. I looked at her as my best friend. And we did what best friends do. We chatted about how our day was. We'd watch Strictly Come Dancing together. And we'd laugh uncontrollably about my newest fart jokes. When she passed away in November, it was devastating, and I was really heartbroken. But I had a takeaway from this. I had this reassurance that the time that I spent with her was time which no one else really had, time that I really enjoyed. Now, I'm an adult orphan now, and it's something that is probably going to happen to most of us during our lives. But with some care, some attention, some patience, some love, hopefully more of us will be able to be best friends with the parents before it's too late. Thank you.